everybody, and welcome to episode 143 of Revisiting Sunnydale. I am Kahmeela.
I'm Marcella.
Welcome back. I know every episode is like, we've been working on like every 4-month situation here. But you know what? We've said it before, and I'll just say it again. Life, man. We're doing our best.
We got day jobs. We got night jobs. We got life. Yeah. You know, we're doing the best we can.
I know it. So, but until then, you know, we appreciate you hanging on and sticking with us this far. You can keep up with us, even though we're kind of inactive on these pages right now, but we should probably be doing something more there. Facebook page, Revisiting Sunnydale, Twitter, Back to Sunnydale.
I posted there the other day. I swear I did. Just the other day, I posted something about James, just to keep it alive.
Thanks, Marcella.
You got
Appreciate you, because I am barely on Facebook. Instagram at RVS_podcast, and we are on Patreon, patreon.com/revisiting Sunnydale. And because we have been out of the loop for so long, and boy, do I apologize, I had not checked the Revisiting Sunnydale email or the Patreon for a hot second, and come to find out we have a new patron since as of October.
Oh boy. Oh, are you still a patron?
Yes, she is. We appreciate you, Pollyanna Biswas. I know who you are. I've seen you in person. I've probably never actually said your name out loud. I apologize if I just screwed it up. I know you as Polly. She made me this awesome rug, a rhythm rug, like a shout out to Tribe Called Quest a couple years ago. And she has a really cute dog. So, but yeah, thanks, Polly. Back in October, she signed up for our Xander Harris tier, and we very much appreciate you. And we owe you a sticker.
Yes, we do.
All right, so we're going to get into it. Season 7, episode 17, Lies My Parents Told Me. Original air date March 25th, 2003, a lifetime ago. That's a whole person who can drink and vote ago. Yeah. Written by David Fury, directed by David Fury. Robin Wood seeks revenge on Spike for killing his mother nearly 30 years ago, whilst everyone else tries to find out how the First has control over him. Important guest stars, co-stars, Tom Lenk as Andrew, I'm not even saying her name anymore, D.B. Woodside as Robin Wood, Damani Roberts as young Robin, K.D. Aubert as Nikki Wood, and Juliet Landau as Drusilla. We forgot to mention Spike's mom.
Oh, I didn't forget.
So
she creeps me out. I don't talk about her. She takes me to a place that doesn't need to go. Spike's mom.
Spike's mom.
She's in this episode.
We open up with a flashback to 1977 with a very Billy Idol. Spike is fighting Nikki Woods in the rain. Wood. I just want to pluralize this family. Nikki Wood in the rain. I'm still pretty salty that they switched out actresses, but I did look into why and how this had happened.
But why?
Yes, per the Buffy wiki, April Whedon, no relation, portrayed Nikki Wood in Fool for Love. This is who we are referring to when we said that they switched out actresses. She was also the stunt double for Kendra in What's My Line Part 1 and Alana Gunn on the Angel episode Warzone.
I feel like those girls are very different builds, but okay.
Yeah, I know it.
Sure.
I'm just like, she's the only black female stunt person that they could find.
I guess.
Okay. You know what? I mean, shout out to April for getting paid.
Right.
But according to April, despite having auditioned to reprise the role of Nikki in 2003 for First Date and Lies My Parents Told Me, the casting stated that there was a certain maturity about me now and that I didn't get the part. So
okay. Let's be honest. There was a certain maturity about her the first time around. Right. She looked old as hell the first time around.
Right. Like, so I don't know how old she was supposed to be.
Right. And how much older did she look the next time?
That was what? 5 years later?
Right.
Like, if that?
And I'm sorry, the black don't crack, so she couldn't have looked that much older.
I highly doubt it. Y'all were just trying to Aunt Viv her, and I'm not.
I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate that horrible wig they put on the new actress.
Right.
It's terrible. And
it's so bad.
I will give the new actress her props. Her scene with young Robin is heartfelt. I feel a certain way about it. And he is adorable. But you're right. Why does he not recognize Spike? Why does the first need to tell him who Spike is if he was here for this whole damn scene?
He was hiding behind the bench while this whole fight took place. He seen him. I don't understand why, like, this is like new information to him when when the first is like, you fought with the vampire who killed your mom.
And I mean, okay, I know Spike probably doesn't remember everything he's ever smelled, but this was a certain fight with a Slayer and her child. He smelled Robin. He probably could have remembered him the first time he met him because he has Slayer blood. So maybe he smells a certain way. I don't know.
I'm just gonna put most of this on Robin for now. I don't understand why Robin didn't remember him. Like this was a very pivotal moment in your life.
Well, and it's not like he doesn't stand out either. Spike is very recognizable. The second he saw him, he should have been like, motherfucker. Nope.
That's the dude.
Nope. I'm out. I'm gone. I can't. No.
Exactly. And but I'm also like feeling some kind of way about just Nikki's whole mindset is just like she basically tells her kid, the mission's only, she actually tells her kid the mission is what matters. Basically telling him, you know what,
it matters more than you. It flat out matters more than you.
Yeah. So, I got a job to do. I'm going to drop you off at old dude's house and so you can play with some occult type things. And so you're not really a priority in my life, which sucks.
Yeah. And
Robin needed some therapy
about him. Oh yeah. He needed a lot of therapy, but it explains a lot about him. Mm-hmm. It explains an awful lot about him. But I just don't get how he can just fight alongside Spike. There's no way.
So they're out here fighting the good fight. Robin and Buffy and Spike and some random vamps in an alleyway. Robin gets into a little bit of trouble. Spike kills the vampire that was going to get him. And Robin just glowers.
He definitely gets a splinter because he holds that stake so hard that blood's coming out of his hand. Right. While Buffy is pummeling a vampire in the distance. Like you can see her just straddling this vampire and just punching him in the face.
Going to town. So next day at school, I guess they make note that the kids are all kind of back to normal because remember there was like a fucking riot a few episodes ago and just like all hell literally broke loose. But everything seems to be back to normal. And then Robin tells Buffy that she reminds him of his mom. And so now there's like zero chance that they're going to see each other naked.
I'm okay with that. They were not meant fine, to be anyway.
But it's just, if there was any other sign at all whatsoever, it's like, you remind me of my mom.
Yeah. Yep.
So things get dried up real fast. And then Giles just shows up out of nowhere. And he is pissed about the state of the library, the new library.
Pissed. I find it hard to believe that there are 0 books in there. He said there are 0 books, all computers. There's probably still at least some encyclopedias.
Yeah, he was probably being a little dramatical, as the British do, as British Giles gets to be. But it was very he's finding the state of the new library insufficient, and in fact he's ready to talk to the school board and donate or lend some of his books from his own personal library.
Have it flown in. No, Giles. No.
Giles, that's not the problem we're trying to rectify today.
But I appreciate your passion to your craft.
Right.
You really took that librarian role to heart.
Yeah, like I don't even know. Like, was he like, okay, well, it's whatever. So anyway, they also they start talking shop, and Robin just now gets up to speed about Spike's chip, soul, and trigger.
Well, that's because they keep having this conversation in front of him, and he's like, "A what now? A hey now? A ho now? Huh?" And then they're mad at him for not understanding what's going on.
It's a lot to keep up with, guys.
Yeah.
We've been watching for 7 seasons, and we having some difficulties at times keeping it all straight.
It's a weird conversation, though, and Buffy is, she is very concerned about Spike. Her concern is with Spike. Concerned. And Giles's concern is not with Spike.
Right.
And Robin's just in the background like, he killed my mom. Tell me more. What's this trigger you speak of?
Yes.
How can I use this to my advantage?
Right. And Giles has an idea. So everybody gathers around at the Summers house. Even Robin shows up, and Spike is chained in the basement. And Giles has some sort of rock thingy, and Willow is going to incantate it or whatever.
I love how casually you just said that Spike was chained in the basement, like it was just a thing that happens.
That's just some things that happen. That's just how
it rolls.
Typical Tuesday. Typical Tuesday. And they want the thing to go up into Spike's brain, and Spike,
he's not happy about it, and I agree.
Yeah, he's less than enthused.
I don't like
he's
it.
Like, how many times are you people gonna try to shove shit up my brain? I'm asking not to.
And Willow's just like, and I hope I can get the pronunciation right. I'm sorry. We have seen that even remotely correct pronunciation can set books on fire. So I'm gonna need you to get it right, because incorrect could cause it to do something completely wrong.
Right.
No, thank you.
Go into a different orifice, whatever. But can you step outside and go practice your pronunciations before you come in here hot with your
need you to
raggedy
Google translate that shit and tell it, let it speak to you
with your raggedy Latin. And so it happens, and I'm just now realizing that this is the only scene in this episode that Xander's in, really.
Yeah, that's fine.
And Dawn, yeah, this is a very heavy, just like Buffy, Giles, Robin, Spike episode.
Yeah,
which is
cool. Heavy flashback, and then it's going in his eye, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Even though the CGI is terrible, but I don't like eye stuff. I'm just not in the eye fan. No, it makes
me very uncomfortable.
Do you think her level of concern here is like Angel? It's the level of concern she had when Angel was like, anytime sick, Arrow.
It seems a little bit more.
It does seem a little bit more.
It's like she's forsaking everyone else around her for his comfort level too. Because later on, when Spike vamps out and is triggered and throws Dawn across the room, he even suggests shouldn't you go check on Dawn? She took a pretty hard hit, and she's like, she's fine. She's tough.
She's fine.
Ma'am, right. She could give 2 shits about her sister. She's the worst.
Yep.
So once this thing gets in Spike's brain, then it takes him back to
Mama. To his mom.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So human poet Spike.
William. We're seeing William.
Oh, yes. As he's reading his mom some poetry.
About the love of his life, Cecily. Who we all know to be Halfrek.
Yes, even though it was never really flat out stated in this show, we know. His mom is all about trying to hook him up with Cecily. She's like, yo, what's going on? She's a good catch. And he's like, nah, I don't. I've got you, mother.
She's got she's got the cough. She's got the it reminds me of the wife in Tombstone who's got consumption.
It's the 1800s cough. I was she coughs into a hanky and there's blood on it.
Yep.
She's gonna die.
It's one of the reasons that every time I cough, I look at a hanky. I'm like, is there blood in it? Am I dying? I'm okay.
Everything's fine. Spike, like James Marsters is what, like 57 at this point?
Yes, and he looks every bit of it in that wig. Yes. He really does. I'm not saying he's not an attractive man. It's just...
No, but it's just like the dynamic. Like he's probably, what, 10 years younger than this actress?
Yeah. And he's supposed to be his youngest then, and he just does not look. Yeah. It's not working.
Yeah, it's this HD, I can see all of the makeup, all of the foundation.
Yep. But what does work, and what has always worked, is Spike's vamp face. And when he hears that song, it triggers the first little thing, and it makes him go apeshit, and he attacks everybody. Yeah.
Because in his memory, he is now we are all now aware that his mom used to sing that song to him.
Mm-hmm. The world's most annoying song that'll get stuck in your head.
Yeah, I don't even know the words. And it's just over and over and over again. That early one morning, and it's just make it stop. It's enough to trigger anybody.
And then Spike is super combative when he comes out of it after he has messed up so much in the room. But I will say my favorite part is Robin and his lovely boy eyelashes. My God, that man's got some... Woo! And they zoom in on them too, and it's just like, woo!
This episode is very heavy with the Robin close-ups, and I'm not complaining. That's not a fault of any kind. He's got that smooth, buttery chocolate cocoa skin, and just like you said, those lovely, lovely eyelashes. Okay, Dawn does not get thrown; she gets a bed thrown on her.
Yeah, still gets a big cut, which for some reason Willow is just like dabbing like the hell out of her head, and she's like, ow. And can we take a moment to viciously point out this horrendous hat that Anya is wearing? What is this egg shell? What is that thing on her head? What is that? You're indoors, lady. Take that thing off your head.
I wonder, was this like part of during a poor haircut choice by Emma Caulfield, or did she have a pimple? Because anytime they put a weird hat on these ladies in this show, like Willow, I always assume like you had like a terrible pimple on your forehead that makeup could not help out, which is ironic considering that you guys are making full on vampire faces. Right. But that's just my theory.
Yeah, mine too. I like
yes, like you said, Spike is like super combative. Like he's really defensive with everybody, and Giles keeps, and he finally tells everybody, "Okay, my mom used to sing me the song. It's fine." But Giles just keeps pushing, and he's just like, "That's it. You know, she was a lovely lady. It's fine."
He's like, "Your stupid stone didn't work." But the stupid stone is like Spike's worst acid trip because he keeps going in and out of flashbacks. And he's just sitting there. Even after the thing has come out of his eye, he's just sitting there while everyone's talking about him. And he's looking at his hand, and all of a sudden a lacy gloved hand grabs his hand, and he's all of a sudden dancing around the room with Drusilla. Which, hello.
Hello, Drew.
It's nice to see you.
And you know, and this is like the night or a roundabout a couple of nights after Drusilla has turned Spike. So he's like freshly turned, and they're all talking about what their life is going to be like together and all the trouble they're going to cause and all the people they're going to eat. And then Spike is like, yeah, the three of us. And she's like, huh? He's like, you can be my mom. She's like, the fuck she is?
You want to bring your mom to eat. No, not to eat. Not to eat. Me too. She is absolutely one of my favorites.
Well, it's just Your like what any new bride would say if her new husband was like, yeah, I want my mom to come live with us.
Yeah. Like, no, you're not bringing your mom on our quote unquote honeymoon. And of course, Drusilla's weird about it. I gave birth to your son. What? Huh?
Spike's mom has been beside herself with worry because she didn't know where he's been for the last last fortnight. I don't know.
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks. 2 weeks he's been gone. Yeah, she must have that's a lot of red flags considering how far up her ass he's been for the last we'll say he's supposed to be like 28. I don't know.
Why is she rubbing her belly? What is wrong with her?
Know. Because Drusilla is amazing. She's so perfectly batty.
So perfectly batty.
Like nothing she does makes sense, but yet it all makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so while Spike is like still evading the question really about like what this all means, his relationship with his mom and the song, they get a phone call at the Summers house. Andrew answers it because he's the admin. And he's like, there's somebody named Fred. There's somebody on the phone named Fred.
There's a guy named Fred on the phone.
And he sounds really effeminate. Hello, pot. Kettle.
Right?
Black.
But for those who didn't know or didn't watch, they might have been confused. And that was actually Winifred Burkle that he was talking to from the spinoff Angel.
Yes. And this was setting up a crossover-ish kind of thing, or at least just a crossover for Willow, basically.
Yeah.
And so Willow just comes downstairs and tells Buffy she has to bounce. Super secretive. Can't tell you where I'm going, but I have to go out of town. Buffy's like, all right, bye. It's like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah, where are you going? Weird. But it was the best crossover ever. It was when she went to go get Faith and they had to get Angelus. That whole crossover. That's where she was going, was to put the soul back into Angel. That's why she couldn't tell her where she was going. Okay,
so after Willow leaves, Buffy decides to go ahead and unchain Spike, even though Giles is against it. And
against it.
And she gives Giles like a real nasty, like, you know, like basically just like Giles is like, don't do it. She's like, don't. It's like, ma'am, I just you still have a sister that was hit in the head.
Their whole thing this episode is really weird because there's a moment where they're talking at Spike and he grabs Buffy up, and I'm like, watch how you don't be putting your hands on me, sir.
Yeah.
So that might have led to the attitude she gives him here.
Maybe. Yeah.
And so, then, of course, Robin takes the opportunity to be like, hey.
Yeah. Robin and Giles have a little chatteroo about Spike and Buffy and the problematic relationship they have. And Robin starts to tell him about how that he was raised by a Watcher. He tells him which Watcher. Giles is like, oh, I know that dude. He used to be, oh.
He's like, he killed your mom.
He finally connects the dots. You're Nikki's son. Spike killed your mom.
He killed your mom.
Yes, this must be awkward for you.
A little bit more than it was about 5 minutes ago. I wish they would have showed us a flashback with Crowley, because I would have loved to have seen what he looked like.
Yeah.
What kind of Watcher he was.
Yeah. And so Robin says he has like a plan, and all Giles needs to do is distract Buffy, and he's like, she'll do what you say. She listens to her Watcher, right?
He actually chuckles a little.
Giles is a little bit embarrassed to admit that no, she does not. She hasn't done that since day one.
But she actually does. She goes out with him anyway. Yeah,
he suggests some bogus training session. And then, it's agreed that Robin will take Spike to his place to watch him.
And there's a problematic quote here. It says that everyone at the house is a little relieved to have Spike at Robin's. So if everyone's afraid of Spike, why are you letting him stay in the basement? Like, if all of those girls are afraid of him, what are you doing? You're being a bad slayer.
She's being a bad slayer. Bad slayer, captain, friend, sister. Like, you were just... Her only concern is Spike right now, and it's driving me a little bonkers.
Mm-hmm. It couldn't have been that good.
Especially if you're not trying to get it back. I mean,
right?
If you're not trying if you're not actively still
like I just don't understand. Like
Spike is charming and all, but it's let's not get it twisted. Like he's still, like everyone says, he's a fucking murderer. Like he's a live wire. He's very unstable right now. It's not a good idea to have him around all of these little girls.
No, it's not. But it is cute to see Buffy and Giles on this mission in the cemetery and have the most adorable bank branch manager vampire come out. He's so kind of nice. I feel bad for Richard, actually.
Right. So Giles is trying using this whole thing about, Buffy, you got to be prepared to make the tough decisions. And Richard comes out and he's like, if I tell you not to kill this vampire, will you not kill the vampire? And she's like, but why? He's like, just don't do it. So she fights with him for a while, and and Rich is just what did she say? Like he seems kind of nice.
He's like, really?
And Spike or Buffy keeps going on about, yes, I'm prepared to make the tough decisions. And then just once again, she just showing how little she gives a shit about everybody else except for Spike. She's like, if I had to kill Dawn to save the world, I would do that. It's like, oh. And off in the distance, you hear Dawn, thanks.
Yep. Because he asked her, he said, knowing what you know now, you'd let her die. And she was like, if I had to, yeah. I would. If I had to. I mean, she's done it before. She killed Angel. She always makes the hard decisions. Don't come at her that way, Giles. Come at her a different way.
Yeah. This is like, you know what? Basically, yeah, just come at her with the fact that this is specifically Spike, and I don't know what it is, and I need you to tell me why. So,
meanwhile, poor Spike
Spike arrives...
in what can only be described as possibly a scene out of Pulp Fiction. Like, I was worried they were going to bring out Zed at any moment.
Bring out the Gimp.
Because Robin starts taking his clothes off. They're in a room full of crosses. Are we making the world's weirdest porn? What's going on here?
Seriously, like Spike walks into this shed and it's just like crosses upon crosses upon crosses on the wall everywhere. And Spike's like, what the fuck is happening?
And then Robin starts downloading something from iTunes on his very large Mac.
Well, what's funny is that at this point, like Spike is now asking questions. He's like, so what's your story, Robin?
A little too late, I might add.
Right. Yeah, never go to a second location, Spike. So Robin starts like, no big. I don't have much of a story, blah, blah, blah. And then, like you said, he's like taking his shirt off and to expose like some tank top. And then he's like pulls open a drawer full of weapons. And it looks like, I swear, it looks like some sort of like spiked fucking jockstrap.
Yep.
Like,
it looked real scary.
Like he didn't pull it out, but it's there just in case. And he starts putting on like the holster, the arms, and strapping things onto his arms and stuff. And it's like, oh, by the way, you killed my mom.
And Spike is still like, I killed a lot of moms. I don't
know that you know your audience, Spike. Now's not the time to be flippant.
What of it? So,
what's your point?
Come at me. And then he hits play on his old ass computer, and the song
he drops that beat. He drops the beat. He paid the $2.99 to get the song. Say,
anyone out there that can edit that scene and have it Rickroll, I would appreciate it. I'm sorry, I just killed Kahmeela.
Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, LimeWire was alive and well at this point in time.
Chances are, 90 seconds into that song, you either got Rickroll, a very loud screech,
or some DJ.
Bill Clinton.
Oh, God.
Or some DJ.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, the #1 Hot 90 mix.
Life was hard, kids. Life was hard. Now you
after you waited 2 days to download the one song.
Right? Oh. And now you just have ASMR. That's all. Like, you don't even want music. You just want to listen to my voice pop.
Okay. Y'all are weird.
But Spike's getting his ass beat.
Yeah.
Beat. Robin is digging up in that ass.
Yeah. And I'm assuming simultaneously he's having these flashbacks because we go back to after his mom is all turned and stuff.
She looks pretty.
She does. She's glowing, as William puts it. And she's also digging in that ass. Like, he's like, oh, great. You're healthy. You're looking great. We're going to have so much fun together. And she's like, no, I would, I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you all of the ways that I hate you.
Yep. And then, if that wasn't bad enough, she takes it to an even worse level and starts making some implications.
Like, yo, like, Mom, no, can we not? Like, this is like, at first it's just insulting. Then it's uncomfortable. Then it's cruel. And then it gets lightweight incestuous. Like, Mrs. Spike, can you not do this?
It's nasty. It's real nasty.
Mrs. the Bloody. Like, she says some really nasty shit to him.
Yeah.
And he's looking like real.
He's like, no. You're twisting
his whole
it all
everything.
Up. I just loved you. I only loved you. I didn't know.
His whole everything is fucked. Like, she completely shattered him. And and if I think I would like to say that this is the moment, because there was still a little sensitivity happening with William / Spike in his newfound vampireness. But this was probably what turned him completely to the cold-hearted, just like fucking just went all the way over to the cold-blooded killer that he was. He was like, fuck this world.
Oh yeah, I think for sure this turned him from William to Spike. I think if his mother had been kind and decent to him, he would have stayed William. He never would have become Spike.
Right. He would have still had his little bloodlust, but he wouldn't have been as
he would have been William the Bloody,
as fierce and ferocious as he was.
No, William the Bloody with still a bit of poetry in his heart, but he wouldn't have gone full on Spike.
Oh, so he finally stakes her. He has to do it. He's like, I can't have this. I can no longer take this. So he kills his mom after she tries to shag him.
It's real nasty.
Did we hear at a convention that the actress tried to shag James? Did he say that?
I think so. Yeah. Which, good on you for shooting your shot, lady.
You know what? Like, I ain't even mad at you.
Nope. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
I'm here. I'm gonna do this. See what happens. Worst that happens, he says no, or I get fired. Whatever.
Right.
Either way, it would have been worth it. Giles is going on with Buffy about making sacrifices and saving the world and blah blah blah, and then finally Buffy gets it. Like, wait a minute, you're stalling me. Because he brings up Spike several more times. And she's like, fuck. And so she takes off. And in the meantime, while, Robin is still kicking off in Spike's ass, then he takes off his weapons and puts his shirt back on and takes his mama's coat back.
Yeah. He took that coat.
And Spike snaps out of it.
And thanks him. Whoops his ass for a little bit. And then thanks him for giving him the best therapy session he's ever had.
You cured me, bro. This trigger
you did what that little prophylactic stone couldn't do. You fixed me. Thanks.
That trigger ain't got shit on me.
Yep.
I'm good. And then Spike has some, like, I think it looks like a couple of the moves that he puts on Robin, that he used them on his mom, on Nikki. Like it looks like the same for a second. It mirrors the fight in the subway. And if that's the truth, that's cold.
It looks like it.
And Spike also says, I don't give a piss about your mom. Insult to literal injury.
That's a little too far.
That's too much.
You didn't have to do that.
That's just rude. And he gives him a little insight. When Robin was like, you took my mom away from me, she was my world. And Spike is like, but you weren't hers. Didn't that really piss you off? It's like, yeah.
That's even ruder. He's like, my mom actually loved me. Yours didn't.
Ouch.
How's that feel?
Hey. It's itchy.
Cut it out.
Why you gotta be so mean about it, sir?
And Robin, I'm just gonna say, you're surrounded by like thousands of wooden stakes. Jab him in the chest right now. He still killed your mom.
What is the point of all of these stakes and crosses? I don't understand why or how he thought he won that fight. Like he's still a vampire. Like even though he wasn't, if that was a man, like just a human, yes, that guy would have been knocked out for a little while. But he is a vampire. You don't
stop until they're dust.
Right, you finish the job.
To add insult to injury, Spike calmly walks over to the table, starts the song, and is like, "Bitch." If he'd have had a mic, he would have dropped it. Instead, he just turns it off, lets it play for a little bit, turns it off, and he's like, I'm good. Yeah. But I'm still going to kill you. Because I can do that now, too.
Yeah, and he goes for the neck. And as I'm looking at this again, it is, this fight between these two. Like when Spike is actually fighting back, like this is like, that's like something that I could be down with just playing like on loop.
It's blocked really well, and it's
lit.
Nicely. It's a good fight.
Both of the men's have very flattering t-shirt situations with their shiny muscles just kind of a glowing.
That black t-shirt. Woo.
Yep, and Robin is like serving it up real nice. Like this is alright. I'm here for it.
One of my favorite parts of Poor Richard's, we're gonna call the sub story "The Ballad of Poor Richard." One of the conversations that Buffy's having with Giles, she's like, "I am fighting for my life here," and Poor Richard mistakes that comment for the fight that they're currently having, and he's so excited about it. And she's like, "No, not you."
He's like, "Really?" I was like,
"No,
Rich. No, Rich. You came at an awkward time. I just."
You did.
So Buffy gets to Robin's just in time to see Spike walk out with his coat back on, and he reacts the way that anybody would, and she's like, "What happened?" He was like, "Your boy." I gave him a pass this time. Like he came at me wrong. He came at me out of left, and I'm gonna give him a pass. I didn't kill him this time because I killed his mom. But that bitch looks at me funny next time, I'm gonna kill him.
When he opens the door and Robin's just sitting there with his shirt hanging off his shoulder, he looks so depressed.
It's like, how does that feel, sir? Like you have been like holding on to this lifelong revenge. And now what?
You got your ass beat. You got your ass beat. And for some reason, I think he really thought Buffy was going to take his side. And she's like, no, hold on here. You heard what he said. You try this shit again, and I'm going to let him kill you.
Right.
Pure and simple.
Yeah, it's like, Robin, where have you been all this time? Like, you know whose side she was going to take. It didn't matter. Like,
he is the strongest warrior we have, is what she tells him.
Yeah.
I need him in this fight. No matter what he's done, he is key to us saving the world. Done. And I still got to say, if I'm Robin, I got to say, you know what? I get your point. He still killed my mom. Good luck with your fight. I'm out.
Exactly. It's like, you know what? I don't need to be a part of this.
No.
If y'all not gonna let me kill him, I'm gonna bounce.
Right.
And I'm gonna catch his ass on the flip side.
Right.
I tell you what I will not be doing is just kumbayan with him. And,
right.
you know, like, it's just, it can't. It won't happen. I'm wondering, is this shack, this garage, is this like something that Robin rents that's outside of his home? That's like not part of his home?
Yeah, I think so. Buffy lovingly checks on Dawn when she gets home, who has to share her room with like 5 people. Why are there so many girls in this house? I live here. I am not sharing my room. I don't care. No, this is my house. Willow can share. She don't.
Like
this is.
Right.
But she goes out into the hallway and Giles is there and he's like, I know you're angry. And she's basically like, fuck you. Good night. And closes the door in his face. He's out in the hall like, I'm sorry.
I would just leave. Giles, go back home.
Just go.
Like, go home. Like, she clearly just acts like she don't want you there. Right. I know she, like, let
she
this little girl
now.
do her
She
thing.
don't need you.
Right. Nope.
She grown.
Back home to your wide estate. And
right? With your sprawling lands and your horses and... How'd you get that? But that's our episode. That's how it ends, with a door in the face. This is probably, of this season, this is definitely one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah,
like
it's absolutely.
It started off a good block with storyteller this and them dirty girls. I can't wait to get to them dirty girls. But this was a really good episode and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
We have a song of the week. Yeah.
Finally.
What else would it be?
Third.
It's
Nana Muscori.
Yeah.
Nana.
Early one morning, just as the sun was rising.
So apparently this song has been around for like decades upon centuries. Yeah.
Sure.
I forgot to catch a burn, but you have one here.
I do. There it is, and it cracked me up. It is Spike and Giles in the basement. Spike is saying, "Oh, bollocks, all the rubbish people keep sticking in my head. It's a wonder there's any room for my brain." And Giles replies with, "I don't think it takes up that much space, do you?"
And the look on his face when he delivers, like his line delivery, like the way that Giles just silently snatches wigs, just like real easily. Just
Which, can we just take a hot second to just drop a shout out to Mr. Anthony Stewart Head and how amazing he has aged. If you are not watching Ted Lasso, he's in season 3 and he woof.
Yeah.
Like, damn, son.
Yeah, and he's now just Anthony Head.
Yes, he's now just Anthony Head. You're gonna always be Anthony Stewart Head.
But I feel like Stewart was the wrong one to drop.
You're Tony Head. I
was a little bit concerned. Like I'm a little bit behind. I think we only watched the first episode of season 3 for Ted Lasso. And I was a little bit concerned. Like it seemed like he was limping. And I don't remember if that was part of the character or
I didn't notice.
I
was too busy looking at his beautiful face.
He does look fabulous, and he's like just the right amount of assholery that he's
yeah. He's a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah, and it's so funny because he's only on ever so often. He's not in every episode, and I had forgotten because it's been so long since the last season.
Yeah,
and then he shows up, and is like, oh yeah, hey, Jody.
It's Ash. Hey there.
Yes. So shout out to Ash getting more screen time these days, and also to the Ted Lasso crew because that is a delightful show.
Oh my God. I love it so much. We had some bodies drop this week. We had 2 vampires that Spike dusted. I believe one in the alley, and I don't know where the second one was. And then we had Anne Pratt, sired and dusted by Spike. That's his mum. So his last name was Pratt.
Pratt?
His
Did we
name
not
is
know
William
that?
Pratt. I did
Billy
not
Pratt?
know that. Willie Pratt, Bill Pratt. That's all.
And we never talk about his dad.
We don't ever. And then the ballad of poor Richard. He got dusted by Buffy.
Richard. And it does not pass the Bechdel test.
I don't think so. No, not this time. There are some good random trivias and goofs, though. Spikes makes a mention of his mom's personal physician. Does he need to go get Dr. Gull because she's coughing blood into a napkin? Well, apparently, in real life, Dr. William Gull was a physician extraordinaire to the royal family, and some believed to be Jack the Ripper.
What?
Interesting.
That is interesting, especially considering like the last one of our episodes, a few episodes back. I think you had said that it would have been a good kick to like try to make Angelus having been Jack the Ripper.
That would have been amazing. I would have loved that. And then this is the final appearance of our sweet, sweet Juliet Landau as Drusilla. We will no longer see her from this point on this show.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Thank you for everything, Juliet.
You were the best. You made it all worth it. The moral of the story is you gotta fix your mommy issues. Like,
you gotta fix them.
I know there's a lot of talk about daddy issues. I don't think the world visits mommy issues as much as they should. That's a real thing. They exist, and you need to find your help with it. And also, as I pointed out to Spike, never go to a second location with someone that you're not really sure about, that you don't really know. Because Robin's been giving him side eye from jump, and Spike should have known that something was up. He may not have recognized him, sure, but Robin has been looking at him suspect from the beginning.
But since like season 4, Spike's the crash on your couch kind of person, so he just keeps bouncing from place to place. So he didn't think anything of it.
It's so fucked up that he doesn't have a spot of his own, like for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Like it's just very was like, watch Spike. It's gotta be like emasculating, a little dehumanizing, like just like it's gotta make you feel some kind of way, like put you in some sort of space mentally and emotionally to just have people watching you all the time. I'm not a toddler and I'm not a peekapoo. Like, stop it. So yeah, that was the episode. If you can let us know what you think about Lies My Parents Told Me, you can send an MP3 file less than a minute and email it to revisitingsunnydale@gmail.com. We will play it on the air. You can also send us messages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Next episode, Dirty Girls.
Those dirty, dirty girls.
Dirty Girls. This means that Faith comes back, yes? And we got little Nathan Fillion coming our way.
Yep, a young Nathan Fillion. It's a really good episode. You guys are gonna like this one.
Yeah. So once again, so once again, thank you for listening, and please talk to us. Tell us how much you like us. We like to hear that sort of thing.